Peter Charles here, folks, fly fishing. And today let's look at 5 tips for better spey casting. Now, these tips are not about specific things that you do with the rod, go here, go there, go everywhere. Nothing like that. This is about some basic things that I see all the time on the water that people are not doing well and causing them some problems. So I've talked about this in all the other videos in my spey casting efficiency playlist, my 30 videos. So I've mentioned all of this at some point or a time or another, but I'm going to put them all together, and hopefully that'll let you become a better spey caster simply by following these simple things. And they're just generalities that just work. And you'll hear a lot of instructors talk about these things when they're out with students. So this is a little recap of 5 things you can do to become a better spey caster, and they're not difficult, and they're not anything specific about any particular cast. These apply to all spey casts. So the first one is slow down. Instructors joke about how we should have a boombox sitting on the bank, and all it does is play a loop. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Everybody rushes. So let's look at this clip here, and I've sped it up 1.5 times to show you what people look like when they're normally casting. That's what I normally see, that kind of speed. And this is the actual speed of the cast. This is how I actually did that. That's the real speed. So when you cast fast, you end up, wearing yourself out, for starters, and you're in less control. Things are going wrong. It's easy for things to go wrong when you're working quickly. As soon as you slow down, less wear and tear in the body, and your brain can keep up, and things just work better. It doesn't require speed to get a good cast off, and that's one of the mistakes people make. They think they have to go like mad with the rod to get a cast out of it, and you see people doing that all the time. Well, you don't. You can cast nice, easily, and smoothly, and you'll find it much easier if you slow down. So, I can't emphasize enough about the slowing down part. Okay, next one. Head locked on target. Oh, my Lord. This is such a bad one. Oh, my God. If I don't keep looking at that target, it's going to run away. And all sorts of bad things happen from it. So in this particular clip, I'm locked on the target, and I get an awful cast. I'm just using my arms only. My body's not involved, and I don't know what's going on behind me. And it just ends up being an awful looking cast. So you see, my head is not moving at all. I'm just locked right in on the target. Let's zoom in, and you can see my head never ever turned to the side. It never went like this. I never looked at the anchor. I never looked at my D-loop. I didn't look at the rod. Didn't look at anything except where I was casting. And I would say this particular problem is about, on the average angler, when I'm on the river looking around, probably 90-95% of them are target locked. And it's like it's going to run away. And this comes from trout fishing. And it makes sense in trout fishing. If I want to cast a dry fly, I'm going to have to look at the target. And I'm going to really have to focus on the target. And that's fine. That's good for trout fishing. It's not good for spey casting. So, you have to be aware of what's going on. Now, you can see here, I've looked away from the target. It's, I'm not looking at the target at all. It hasn't going. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going to lose it. So, I can see what's going to happen with my D-loop. I can see where my anchor is going. I can see that my rod is out where it's supposed to be. I can see all these things if I get my head off the target and look. It's not hard, but it's a habit to get into. Start looking at what's going on. You'll become a much better caster if you simply look at what's going on. So, this is an extension to that, but we're going to have the speakers up, and we're going to listen to this, because this thing makes a noise. And, when you are casting and casting badly, you're not watching what's going on, you can feel that you don't have a rod load. As you're coming through here, a lot of people cannot feel the load on the rod. And I've discussed that in other videos of why that's the case. And if they would just listen to what's going on, they would hear what's actually happening. And with our speakers up, we'll be able to hear this. Yeah, rip. Now, I didn't feel that cast. I can guarantee you. There was a bit of a load on the rod, but not much. So if you're feeling for the load and you're listening, you'll be able to tell an awful lot what's going on, even if you're not watching. So if you combine those three things, you watch what's going on, you feel what's going on, and you listen to what's going on, you'll be able to diagnose a lot of problems that you're having with your spey casting. But it involves looking, feeling, listening to be able to figure out what's happening. And that rip off the water is from your anchor is a perfect example of what you should be listening for. So compare this with a quiet one. And I mean, it just barely kisses in. We can hear the birds. Let me back that up. I mean, you can hear what's going on around you because that rip of the anchor wasn't there. It was just a kiss. And it was on its way. That's all we should be hearing. We shouldn't hear this horrible rip. Whip. If you're hearing that, you have a problem. So, if you're not feeling a load on your rod, you're not looking what you're doing, and you're not listening to what's happening, you can struggle on all day with the same problems. As soon as you start looking, start feeling, start listening, then you're in a position to start fixing things. But if you're not doing that, well, you're just going to sit repeating the same mistakes all of the time. So here, I'm going to talk about using the body, and I've talked about that in other videos. But using the body is an essential part of good spey casting. Yes, you can become a good spey caster just by using your arms and not using the body, but that's a lot more difficult road, a lot more practice to get it right, and lots of opportunities to get it wrong. So in this example, I'm just going to talk about using the body, and you can see the body rotation that's going on. Here in this example, my head is locked on the target, and the cast is all arms, and it's a lousy cast. So here I'm just letting the body do all the work, and it's easy peasy. I don't have to, so I'm going to stop here and keep talking, and I should stop the video. Give yourself a chance to get a good cast off by using the body. There's lots of benefits to it. I've talked about it before. But I want to compare the timing here. This cast is essentially the same in both cases. It's a single spey. And yet I'm finished way earlier with the arms only cast versus the body cast. And it shows you how the body cast allows you to go a lot slower. So when you use your body, you slow down. The cast becomes slower, but it goes an awful lot further. So here, the arms only, the sweep was done. Look how far behind I am with the body involved versus just the arms. The arms cast is almost finished, a power stroke, and it's only just starting when I'm using my body. And that's part of that whole process of slowing down and getting a more efficient cast. And, off it goes finally. And look at the posture difference. All right? I'm bent over. And this is really bad. When you're bent over, when you're casting, you're aiming the cast down. And you're hitting the water, you're losing distance because your cast is angled like this. And you're doing this, one famous spey caster we called the nodding donkey, business. And, you're bent at the middle, your legs are hardly bent at all. You look at my body posture when I use the body, angled back. Even though I'm delivering my forward cast, I'm angled back. That lets me have a higher stop easily. It's amazing the difference. If I'm angled back, my rod is, I'll do it this way, my rod is here on the stopping point. But if I bend over, it drops. And I haven't changed my arm position. I'm just bending. So, often people have trouble making a high stop. It's because they look like me on the left side here, of all bent over. And look at my legs. My hips are forward, and my shoulders are back. My legs are bent. I've just used my body to drive into the cast. Lower fatigue, higher efficiency, and greater distance. And a nicer loop, a tighter loop. Better for the wind, better for everything. And we move on to the last one, which is casting relaxed. And this is a big deal. I see people death gripping the rod. You know, the knuckles are white. You know, they got dents in the cork at the end of the day. They tire themselves out and they get a lousy cast. I want you to see how relaxed I am here. Now, everything's relaxed, and I'm lifting with my hand open. I'm not gripping the rod on the lift. I'm cradling it. So let's see if I can line it. There we go. Line that up. And you can see as I'm just cradling the rod. I'm not really gripping it. And here I'm just holding like this so I can control the line. Just a ring grip with my thumb and forefinger. Very relaxed grip. Look at my shoulders. They're not up like this. They're just nice and relaxed and low. My head, there's no jaw tension. I'm not, you know, this is all relaxed here. And what's very interesting is if you relax your jaw, you know, I'm casting with my mouth slightly open, like. And when you cast with a relaxed jaw, all this gets relaxed. So it's amazing. You relax here and you relax all through here. And your arms and your grip, everything starts to relax. If you start clenching your jaw because you're, I've got to get that cast off. This is where a lot of the problems start, funny enough. You know, learn to relax here and you relax your entire body. One of the things I tell people is cast with an open mouth if you have to. Looks stupid, I know, but it'll relax you. It's amazing. You can't tighten up with your mouth open. Try it. Try. It doesn't work. It feels weird. So I talked about the open hands, and you can see I finished in a very, very relaxed way. You know, my hands are open. You know, it's just a very easygoing. My shoulders are low. You know, there's no strain. There's no tension. And that's the secret to a smooth cast is no tension. As soon as you get tension in the cast, anywhere in your body, your cast starts to be jerky. You see people, and you can see it in the line. The line's got these wiggles in it, and that's from the jerkiness of the cast. And it's often because they've got death gripping the rod and they're trying to muscle everything. And if your forearms are tight, and your biceps are tight, and your traps are tight, you're going to get a lousy cast. It's nice and easy, nice and easy. So that's the key point here, is you want to be nice and relaxed through the whole process, where you are ready to cast. Your brain is nice and open. You're not tense. You're not, agonizing about things. Just zen, as they say. Just do the zen thing. And away goes your cast. So those are the 5 things you want to do. You want to slow down, okay? You want to get your head off the target. You want to watch, look, and listen. Use your body and be relaxed. And if you do that, it's amazing how all of the casts automatically get better without doing anything to the cast at all. I'm not talking about changing any of the mechanics in the cast. I'm not talking about changing your gear. You just do those things, and all of a sudden, everything just gets better. It's amazing. So give it a try. Slow down. Get your head off the target. And watch, look, and, feel, listen, relax, and use the body. Cheers.